Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up the USA view. Obergefell fears marriage equality may be erased under Trump. Jim Obergefell, the man whose name became synonymous with marriage equality in the United States, is sounding the alarm once again. In a powerful interview with Out magazine, Obergefell warned that the hard-won rights secured by the queer community are in jeopardy under President Donald Trump's current administration. He said, quote, "I always knew I'd be sharing my story for the rest of my life, but now it feels different. Now I tell my story not just with joy, but with fear. Fear that this story will be erased, our marriage will be erased, that our right to say I do will be erased," end quote. Obergefell led the landmark 2015 Supreme Court case, Obergefell versus Hodges, which legalized same-sex marriage across all 50 states. The case stemmed from his fight to be recognized as a surviving spouse of his late husband, John Arthur, after Ohio refused to list him on Arthur's death certificate. Now he warns that the legal protections once secured could be unraveled. He says, quote, "If we don't remind people where we've been, we are going to lose it," end quote. Obergefell, 59, said he's committed to being a voice for the vulnerable. His fears aren't unfounded. Trump's second term has already seen a cascade of anti-LGBTQ policies, bans on transgender athletes, executive orders rolling back protections, and even the shutdown of an LGBTQ plus suicide prevention hotline. Internationally, the hostility isn't limited to U.S. soil. In the UK, right-wing leader Nigel Farage recently declared same-sex marriage wrong. For many in the LGBTQ plus community, Obergefell's warning feels less like a whisper and more like a wake-up call. Wow, I can't believe that he's only 59 years old. Right. Wow. So Jim Obergefell is not being dramatic. He's being prophetic. I mean, if Trump keeps swinging that executive pen like a wrecking ball, your marriage, my marriage, Jason's marriage, and our rights could be shit, to be completely honest. This isn't just a warning. It's a call to remember, resist, and revow to never go back to where we were before.
Yeah, I just got this article hit because just 2 weeks ago, I got a letter from the Department of Veteran Affairs so that I can validate my marriage status and specifically who I was married to.
Wow.
And they asked sex and full name. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, are they going after marriage now? And, you know, part of me is like, is the VA validating my VA dependency to eliminate that or say that it's no longer valid? The fact that, you know, the whole case was about receiving death benefits. My husband served right alongside me in the military for 8+ years.
Okay.
So, you know, God forbid the day I die, I mean, I will eventually, but, you know, he's entitled to that. Like, right. He lived in the military with me.
But even without that, as your partner, don't those benefits go to the partner, to the husband, wife, whatever?
They do, but if the VA is not recognizing it, then I have no partner in the eyes of the VA. So this is very troubling, and I hope that I look forward to all the advocacy groups kind of lobbying against this, and hopefully the Supreme Court is smarter than to repeal it.
Yeah.
Well, if we put our hope in the advocacy groups, we should already admit defeat now. I look at Obergefell's remarks, and I think, you know, there's some truth there. I don't know how much it is the Trump administration will be the ones pushing it, just because I think they do have the Supreme Court to work with on that. And I look at, you know, for people like, well, how could we have done better? I'm like, you know, Biden actually did sign legislation to protect currently married LGBTQ people back in 2022. I remember when it first happened, I was editor-in-chief of Options. I read, wait, it's not protecting all marriage equality. It's only the currently married, those who already got it. No one else can get it. That's what. So I had one or two of our writers write a piece scolding the Democrats for that. And this is one of those issues that I look at, and I look at both parties. I'm like, this is not one party alone is doing this. The two parties have both failed on this issue. They failed our community so much. And remember, that law that Biden was bipartisan. He got a bunch of Republicans to sign. Couldn't have just made marriage equality locked in. Trump has had 2 openly gay cabinet members so far. I don't see him targeting gay men. I see him going after trans women. I see him going after immigrants, and I see him going after women.
Not yet. That was the not yet, but that, I mean, most of the things that have already happened since he's taken office is a playbook in Project 2025. I hate to be the one. No, I love to be the one. But if you actually read the damn thing, it's in there, and it's all Christian nationalism, because by the time you get the propaganda machine going of Christian nationalism, everyone who's heterosexual, who's straight, they turn a blind eye to what's going on because they believe that they are protected as all of everyone else's rights gets chipped away little by little, until you realize that they're starting to come after your rights because they need control. They need Make America Great Again isn't about going back to some past. It's about make America great, number one, in the world again, with the ways in which we were founded on white, heterosexual ideology, terroristic ideology. And this terroristic ideology, Obergefell is really right. We're going down the road to him attacking, and it's not just him, it's all of his little cronies that's in there. And they have not a damn professional bone in their body, because they're all nothing but media, attention, hoarding, power hungry, narcissistic demons. I said it.
You did say it.
And this is, it's coming to that path. So I think raising the red flag, ringing the warning bell, running through the community and being like, we in danger, girl.
Right.
It's actually accurate.
And taking it a step further from LGBTQ, women will be next, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
beginning
of the day,
there.
they couldn't
We're
vote.
there.
They weren't allowed, their place was in the kitchen, and yeah.
I mean,
I
a
can see it.
hospital put a dead woman, forced a corpse to deliver a baby. I think we're already past.
We're already past the women. Yeah.
Voting rights are coming next for Black people, in the ways in which socioeconomic disenfranchisement has landed a lot of them as felons, or has
vote.
So you can't vote.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that we could talk about that I can go down the road in. It's just, and we're only 5 months in?
Right.
Five, 6,
7.
Six?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
6. And look at where we are already. Yeah. So Obergefell, do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
And I have to comment that, when Project 2025 came out and, Trump was like, hell no, I'm not going to do anything with that, right? Jamal was like, I don't trust you, white man. I'm going to go and read this shit, right? And mind you, it's like 300 pages, okay?
1,000.
Of jargon.
It's 1,000.
Of jargon, I was like, okay, can we put it through ChatGPT and get a shorter version that I can read? You know what I mean? But Jamal was like, hell no. He sat there and was like, all right, what parts of this are really going to affect us? And that boy was scared.
And you can't, the chat GPTs don't work. My junior researcher tried that for me with Project.
Oh, did he?
It was all wrong. It spat out all this pro-labor stuff. And I was like, no, this is not a pro-labor document. What? You should not spend 2 seconds to just Google search the document. My goodness.
Wow.
Don't use chat GPT.
Don't use it. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.